we'll start it out the same way. Just say and spell your name and what your title is.
All right. John Fordney, Johnfordney, English Social Studies teacher, John Ball Zoo School.
You want him to look at me or at the camera?
Why, are you saying that? Or?
No. Well.
Oh, no, when you're doing the interview, he can just look right
that's
at you.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
So when
look at you. Don't look over there.
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
All right.
I'm all set.
All right. So John Ball Zoo School named one of 25 coolest schools in America. What does that mean for you as a teacher of these great students?
Well, coming in, this is my third year, and the first couple of years, it was really an eye-opener for me at what you can accomplish in education. To look and see the motivation behind the students and how you can engage them and see how they progress throughout a year was really refreshing to me as a teacher. It allowed me to be more creative. I could develop lesson plans that I felt would work, and I could go with that, and the students really responded well. And just the coolest part of this program is the students. They make it what it is, and they're constantly keeping me on my toes. They'll ask great questions. They'll want to further their education on the topics that we provide for them, and it's been a great challenge, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's great. I'm going to drill into that a little bit, because I like what you said about, I mean, it indicated you were with Westwood before. You've
Yes.
been with the district. You've kind of been in the more comprehensive, traditional setting.
Yes.
This is dramatically different style of teaching, learning, less, I don't know if organized isn't the right word, but less prescriptive, more of flexible to allow your skills to really come out and to also draw the children's skills out as well. Can you talk more about that?
Sure. Taking a concept in English, for example, if we're trying to write a narrative piece, a story, I can take them outside here in the zoo and into the park, John Ball Park, and that can be the setting of our story. So right there gives us a starting point for our writing, and it gets the kids, they buy into that. It's part of what they know, and it gives them a sense of ownership for that writing. And I've seen the writing just so much more in depth and detailed, and they get their ideas organized much easier than if you just give them a sheet of paper and say write about courage or honesty. It's just a much better way to engage students and get them more motivated in their learning. And again, they'll reflect on that all year long. By the end of the year, they'll want to revisit that story, and they'll want to improve upon it, and it becomes part of who they are, and it's something that they can hang on to for a while. Creates some good memories.
That's great. Talk more about some other examples of how the student learning takes place outside of these four walls. That it's in the zoo. Give some examples of how another project where students are in the zoo or in the park and utilizing that as part of their learning.
One of our first major projects, the students go up into the zoo and they choose an animal that they would like to research further. So we go in and we look at the different animals, and we concentrate on where they are from, what their status is, whether they're a stable population or if they're an endangered population. We talk about what might make them endangered or what might be causing them to have some problems. So we get the initial information from the zoo, and then we come back into the classroom, conduct some research, whether it's on computers or books. We have a library of books that we use as well. And then the kids create a presentation for that, and then we invite the families back on a certain night, and they kind of give the families a tour of the zoo, and that's their application of that knowledge. They get to share what they've learned, and it's amazing what they'll build on from that, to find out about habitat destruction and what some other countries are doing to try and help prevent that, and it gives them more of a global sense of what's going on globally. So it gives us a chance to step out of just the local, what's happening here, and give it more of a global perspective.
That's awesome. For prospective parents, if people who are kind of studying their school options, why should they consider zoo school?
Like Mr. Kretschmann mentioned earlier, it's a family, I mean, we all get involved as a family, and so the parents, we strongly encourage that parental involvement, and it works out to where the parents can come up and help us to make cider, to make our fry bread, and do various activities, and it becomes an entire family, where some of the school systems or some of the classrooms, the parents don't have those opportunities to get involved as often. This program really offers that and encourages it. And so if they're looking for somewhere their child can learn and have a more family-oriented, this would be a great program for them. And it will also create within their student an independent learning where they want to further their own education rather than just I have to do this to get through it. The kids are going to be more independent and they'll get to explore their ideas and see, and so it gives them more of a independent study for them, so to speak. So they can,
in this kind of new age of one-size-fits-all tests and federal mandates that are literally dictating almost every last minute of a classroom day, Zoo School seems to flip that on its head and come up with a dramatically different way that is producing some of the best results in the region, if not the state. What do you think? You know, if you were able to talk to Governor Snyder or the president and say anything about how they need to really look at how we do 21st century education, what would you say?
allowing those students to take their knowledge and apply it. I mean, that's the biggest part. We get bogged down sometimes on just the content, where you're just feeding content to the students. When they get those opportunities to get outside and actually see their knowledge, apply their knowledge, see how the inclined planes work and see what that actually is in action, again, they buy into that, they have that sense of ownership, and those test results just will take care of themselves. I mean, the kids are more interested in learning. They're going to remember their concepts better by doing the hands-on application, and having that opportunity to share their information, work in cooperative groups. It's just a whole process that I think really helps build their education and knowledge base.
Love it. Look into the camera and say, we are home to the coolest school in America.
We are home to the coolest school in America.
You can do that again, but have a smile.
All right.
There you go.
All right. We are home to the coolest school in America.
I'm gonna do it one more time. Do we are GRPS. We are home to the coolest school in America.
We are sorry, you're going to edit that. We are GRPS, and we are home to the coolest school in America.